Hello there, and welcome to the Stay Off My Lawn podcast, where we'll have a little fun, lots of laughs, and discussions on the common sense that needs to be applied to a lot of today's world news issues. And now, the disclaimer. Stay Off My Lawn is not intended as legal, medical, or financial advice. Void where prohibited. No purchase necessary to win. Open to legal U.S. residents 18 or older in the contiguous 48 states. Any resemblance to anyone living or deceased is purely coincidental. Actual price may vary. Only use as directed. Not a member of FDIC. And now, here are your hosts, Mike and Richard.
That's us. Welcome to this
wait,
week's...
are we on? Is this live? Is this thing working?
Nobody
I'm
can
not
see
going to
us.
spit into my mic.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. It's an expensive mic. You'll have to buy one.
That's why I'm not going to spit in it.
Don't do it. Welcome to this week's episode of Stay Off My Lawn. It's October 14th, 2025. Yes, we're on a Tuesday. Finally, we're back on schedule. And this is episode number 137. It's hard to believe. Hard to believe we've been over 2.5 years, coming up on 3 years. Our 3-year anniversary is in January.
Yep, I put up with you a while, haven't I? Or, this is a great partnership.
That was out loud, just so you know.
Was that my outside voice again? Darn, I got to get ahead. As the older I get, I forget if it's inside or outside.
If I had feelings, like I said, they'd be stomped on again. The 2 weeks from today, we will have to either do it on Monday or Wednesday. I've got something going on that day. And then the following week, we're going to have to do that again. So, you got apartments. You got 2 apartments always on Tuesdays. I don't know why that is. So
we bow at your every whim, Mo Master. We bow.
I do sign the checks. So, get in line, boys.
Wait a minute. Do you get paid as much as I do?
Yes, I get paid double actually, but 2 times 0 is...
Last time I did math was
0.
Still the same number.
Yes. But if you want to sponsor the show, you can reach out to us, soml@duck.com. You can call us at 706-383-9003 or send us a text. Again, that number is 706-383-9003. So... text works. I keep forgetting to say that. So, I forget a lot of things. The big news this week that we're going to cover is that the remaining Israeli hostages from October 7th, from just over 2 years ago, are home tonight, thanks to a brokered peace deal by our president, the orange man everybody loves to hate, even though, things are looking up for him. He's done some good work this week.
I don't know how much you've heard about how it's kind of, for lack of a better term, a prisoner swap was going on.
Yeah,
They're making Israel is letting out a bunch of not good people.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, I've just been hearing some of that and checking 2 or 3 different sites to make sure. Is this just somebody else wanting to say that, or no, they're quietly not talking about it? So it's hard to find info on it. But that is kind of what it is, the folks that were there. And I like, it kind of bothers me when they keep saying, well, they've released the live ones. So when do we get the ones that are deceased?
Are unalive, yeah. I think the one thing I heard from Hamas saying they're still trying to figure out where a lot of that is. And, the way Hamas is, and any kind of terrorist organization, they're not going to keep track in little boxes to make sure the remains are all separated and their names are... They don't care. They've probably been scattered out into the Mediterranean along the beach over there, and they just don't... I'd be surprised if they get... I think there's still a bunch of people that have been killed left. I think if you saw the reunions, the video of the reunions, they're all men that have been released. I believe a lot of the women and children either have been previously released or they were killed. There's just not a whole lot of regard for women and children in those terrorist groups. So.
Yeah, it's just kind of sad thing. And our friend Mom Donnie was just doing a speech, and he had the American flag on one side and the Muslim flag on the other.
Of course he did.
So you're going to get what you vote for, people. You think it's free? There is a price for everything, and that ain't a price you want to pay, people.
Nope, exactly. And you know, one thing about those Muslim countries' flags is they all have the same color scheme. And I saw somebody point this out the other day. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, according to the book of Revelation, are all those colors. That's really strange, is it not? What a coinkydink. Yeah.
Who would have thunk it?
Who'd have thunk it? Exactly. Trump was speaking in front of the Knesset in Israel, their version of the parliament over there. And this is kind of what he had to say yesterday.
We gather on a day of profound joy, of soaring hope, of renewed faith, and above all, a day to give our deepest thanks to the Almighty God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. After 2 harrowing years in darkness and captivity, 20 courageous hostages are returning to the glorious embrace of their families, and it is glorious. 28 more precious loved ones are coming home at last to rest in this sacred soil for all of time. And after so many years of unceasing war and endless danger, today the skies are calm, the guns are silent, the sirens are still, and the sun rises on a holy land that is finally at peace, a land and a region that will live, God willing, in peace for all eternity.
And of course, if you read the end of the book, it's not going to happen that way. But I mean, Trump doesn't know. So, but yeah, it's a lot of these world leaders are kind of lining up to kind of kiss the ring of Trump now, going, you know, we're pretty proud of you, even though they were open critics. I don't know if I've heard anything from Macron or his husband or anything like that. I don't think they've really said much.
Speaking of him, did you see how the handshake went with Macron?
I missed that. No.
Oh, Trump was shaking his hand, and Macron kept trying to pull away, and Trump pulled him back in and had some more words with him. And he was hanging on to that hand and had, you know, you normally would put your hand out. Oh, he had his hand clear up here. He had it clear up next to him. He was not getting away.
Yeah, Trump's like 6'3", 245. I mean, you're not going to get away from him if not little Macron. It's not going to happen.
His little hand probably looked like, you know, in the cartoons.
All crumpled up. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he tried to leave like 2 or 3 times, and Trump just pulled him back in. I'm not done telling you something
I've
yet.
seen him do that with Putin. When he shook his hand, he kind of pulled him to him, and it's like, yeah, I think he does that. That's a power move. You know, that's to kind of show your dominance.
Well, he was talking to him, and it looked like he was talking to him in a rather stern way.
Like a parent to a child.
Yeah. It was rather funny. I'm just saying, he had a hold of him, and he kept trying to go, and he wasn't letting go of him. I'm not done talking to you yet.
Macron is one of those people, though. He loves to talk a big game, but really he's probably a wuss with a capital W on the inside. He just doesn't, you know. He's French. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's kind of expected, ain't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I also heard with this negotiations on stuff that, you know, Trump said, well, if you don't let him go, then you know what's going to happen. I will, and the rest of the world has come to believe Trump when he says something. He's not kidding. He's not just playing a political game. It's this or that. It's your choice. Whatever you think might be good for you.
Have you seen that meme where it's like they showed Obama and one of the Middle East terrorists or whatever? It's like Obama going, "We need to negotiate." And the Middle East terrorist goes, "We'll bomb the crap out of you." I'm paraphrasing. And then Biden said, well, let's negotiate. They said, we'll bomb the crap out of you. Then they got Trump over there. He says, we'll bomb the crap out of you. And they say, and then the Middle East terrorist says, well, let's negotiate. So it's like, that's the tables that got turned. And I think that some people are actually starting to realize that that's the way to go. I mean, the Reaganism, the peace through strength type thing. It's like we're not going to put up with any BS. I do like the attitude, and that's the way you have to rule the world. If you're going to be the leader of the free world, I think that's the way you do it. You flex your muscle once in a while.
Yeah, you can't do this. Well, we might bomb you. I mean, kind of in the past, we kind of sort of did. We didn't. It's like, no.
We're going to make a glass factory out of your country. So, yes. But even Keir Starmer, who said this on social media, I happened to see this yesterday. He says, President Trump, this is your achievement. I thank you for your tireless efforts to deliver this movement. The UK stands ready to support a full implementation of your peace plan. So I think that was pretty big. And him and Keir don't see eye to eye hardly at all. Of course, Keir is very left wing. And
nobody sees eye to eye with Keir. His own people are fed up with him.
Exactly. And he's only been in office about a year now. Hasn't been very long.
He's been in office too long because the country is going from bad to worse.
We need to reach out to Charmaine. She's got a lot of insight on it. She's posting things a lot about Keir, and you know, she does it with tongue in cheek and everything. I'm always afraid she's going to like disappear one day. She's got arrested for criticizing her government because you know how they do over there now.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing. I'm surprised at Katie Hobbs.
Oh, I know. She's another one.
She was just on today about stuff, and she's back in England. She's been in the States, by the way. She just went back to England, just got back this last weekend.
Katie Holmes, isn't it?
Or Holmes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Katie Hobbs is the governor of Arizona.
She's the illegitimate governor in Arizona. And her rear end is in hot water, as is whatever his name is, Guillermo, or I don't know what his name is.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The senator guy. No, they're both in hot water because they were accepting money from the cartels. They're following the money is what they're doing now, instead of just, well, there could be bad. No, they have actual receipts of how the money got there. And now that the slush funds have been gotten rid of, they don't have any way of laundering the money like they were doing.
Again, if you go back to the time before the election, you listen to the way Katie Hobbs talked about the border, and you listen to the way, and I cannot think of his name. I'm so glad you can't think of it either. But I mean, we know who we're talking about.
But I don't know.
It does, but I mean, you listen to the quotes from these people, and they were like, and we even played one of his quotes from back then, and all he would say, well, this is a stupid border wall. It's like he was talking like he's 10 years old. I mean, it's one of those things that if you're criticizing the border wall, and you know that you have to know that probably 70 to 80% of the country is 100% for a border wall, and you're criticizing it, you have to follow some money. There's money being exchanged somewhere. And like you said, they've got the receipts now. We've got a DOJ that doesn't mind doing their job. I think that's a wonderful thing. Let's prosecute some of these people. It just needs to happen. But
if you're hollering saying stupid border wall, we shouldn't have that. Who is supporting you to say that? Just,
Yep, I totally agree. Let me see if we can find this guy's name.
Ruben Gallego.
Gallego, that's it. You're right.
I knew it started with a G, the last name, and I could not remember.
I remember the name once I saw it, but Gallego, yes, that's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good old Ruben. Oh, he just crooked as a dog's hind leg, and Mark Kelly ain't any better.
No, Mark Kelly, he's showing his terrible stripes. But, it's like they cannot see the winds, the political winds that are changing. They cannot see that people are moving more to the right because the left has kind of grabbed onto these stupid ideologies, the men and women's sports and the trans treatment for kids. And it's like nobody, hardly anybody, even in the Democratic Party, I've known that have been Democrats for 40, 50 years are like going, I just can't vote for these people.
Yeah, it's like, no, and that's why while we were talking off air, California had 190 new registered voters for Democrats and 3,500 something for Republicans.
Yep.
The balance is, it just keeps going that way.
Well, I mean, but California's been mismanaged for so long, and financially. Well, the federal government, to be fair, has been too. But yeah, I mean, they have to realize that the more taxes go up, the more they spend. So the more taxes go up. It's a vicious circle. It's got to be stopped somewhere along the line. And a lot of that is going to illegal support, illegal aliens getting health care and food stamps and all that kind of stuff. Whatever the state can offer to these people. I mean, it's got to stop eventually. One little bit of support that Trump's getting, which kind of surprised me, and you and I were talking off the air about this too. The Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, has announced that he will nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize after all this. And this year's winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, you were telling me, I can't think of her name. I meant to look her up while we were doing prep.
While we're in there, one moment while I get that information. One moment, please.
What did she
yeah, she was saying that she dedicated it when she got it, when she made her speech receiving it. She dedicated it. That must have been a problem with the audio was that's all, folks.
We won't fix that in post either. Her name is Maria Corina Machado.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that
one. She is really a very wonderful individual that's giving of, and I guess might sort of run for El Presidente of
Venezuela. Yeah.
Venezuela. I've heard a little talk of that. I've not seen much more of it, but
it'd be a step in the right direction, a big step in the right direction. She's very, very smart, and she's a daggum anti-communist, just like those of us who listen to this show and you and I. Yeah. So I mean, we would
are
love
we anti-communist?
Yes, I'm terribly anti-communist. It says so on my underwear. I write it in over there. That way
I have it tattooed, but I'm not going to say where.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry, I stumbled you, didn't I?
Yes, you got me on that one. If you need a good reason to watch The View, though, which I didn't believe there was such a thing. This seems like it came out of the blue for me. But it might be soon, possibly even today. Last January, The View's Alyssa Farah said this.
My point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire. Yeah. If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show and say, thank you for doing it. Yeah. She'll knock it right off my head. But like, you have to be able to cheer for wins when they happen and then call out relentlessly the wrongdoing.
If they cheer for Trump on this and she wears that MAGA hat, I'm going to put that on all of my social media, the podcast social media. It's going to be wonderful. I don't think she's going to go through with it. So.
Well, at least she didn't say I'll eat, because that could be a could be a process.
Well,
Did you have something on praise for Trump from? Let's see. What do we affectionately call her, Hillary?
I sure do. I've got something from Chris Cuomo first, though.
Okay.
Because he's kind of like one of those people that have kind of turned his attention in a different direction. In a way, he's still got some liberal threads running through him, but he opened the phone lines on his show the other day about our Orange Oval Office resident, and here's how some of that went.
I tell you that I'm not too proud to say that I am wrong about Trump. I'm a proud Democrat, and he's done a lot of things. Immigration. I'm happy about what's happening with immigration. I thought the stock market would tank, and I'm pretty happy with my 401k. There's a few things that I just thought things would go wrong, and I'm very happy.
Well, that is big of you to say. It'll probably lose you some friends in this polarized environment that we're in right now. But there's nothing wrong with being happy with results.
Hi, Mr. Cuomo. First of all, I'm a registered Democrat who voted for Trump. I thought this would never happen, but some of the Democratic Party is finally walking up and saying President Trump is doing something good. They were meeting at a Senate meeting. What they're doing is great. What they started doing is to reunite themselves and reunite us. So please keep it up. Keep meeting, keep talking, keep fixing things, keep uniting us and the parties together. This will make our country stronger than ever in the world. I love it.
Good for you. Good for you. Fix. Instead of telling us why the other guy's worse, how do you make it better? Fix. You're right. I'm with you, David. Next.
Hey, Chris, I was wrong to hate President Trump, and it took October 7th for me to realize that, and him coming into office, and with whatever the Democrats are these days, and the rise of anti-Semitism, to make Trump the common sense hero of Israel these days.
Yeah, that middle guy sounded like he had had a few shots of tequila before he called. But people are starting to see that this is working. This whole propaganda against Trump, saying that he's Hitler and he's this and that. Oh, wait a minute. Hitler just released Jews from being imprisoned? Really? I think people are starting to, the common sense is starting to sneak in a little bit.
The terms are just not working anymore, and they're trying to say, all of a sudden they're all trying to say nice things about him, and it's like, really?
Where did that come from? But that was the average person, and of course we already teased the woman that rhymes with Killary. Anyway, we'll have that after the break. Because
rhymes with.
It does rhyme with, right? But we'll have that after the break. Nice tease there. You did a great job. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
I have people, lots of people, practically everyone asks me to say hi to Mike and Richard for them. They're great guys. The greatest, you might say.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Wedding Band Guitar Player.
Mr. Wedding Band Guitar Player.
Any guitar player can rock a packed stadium, but it takes real talent to keep the Wyszynski reception going all night long.
Mazel tov.
Perched on the stage in your undersized tuxedo, you tirelessly churn out tunes from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Keep on rocking.
Sound check? You don't need no stinking sound check.
No!
And even though you've never had groupies, you have bagged the occasional bridesmaid.
Never forget you.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, guitar guy, because every wedding you go to, you're the real best man.
Mr. Wedding Band Guitar Player.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
I still get surprised at those. It's like bagging a bridesmaid. I didn't expect that one. Okay, well, we'll have to bring up the Jesus. We're kind of bless that because that was terrible.
And by the way, he never tells me which one of those that he's going to play. I don't want to know because they're hilarious. Oh Lord, I can just see the guy up there in the 90s, and he's got a 70s ruffled with brown tint on his old brown polyester suit that doesn't fit anymore, and the cummerbund is trying to hold the belly in.
Balding with a mullet. Yes, that would be the whole Joe Dirt mullet. Yes, absolutely.
Oh Lord, that was painted quite the picture.
Yes, it did. Even Hillary Clinton had this to say. It begins with K, right? Had this to say on CBS News just yesterday.
It's a really significant first step, and I really commend President Trump and his administration, as well as Arab leaders in the region, for making the commitment to the 20-point plan and seeing a path forward for what's often called the day after. Most importantly, the conflict hopefully will end with the ceasefire. The hostages will be returned.
I didn't realize, and I was listening to this when I recorded it off the internet, that she says a lot. It's like every other sentence is like, and this, and that. That would have been really annoying from 2017 to 2021. Anyway.
Well, and the older she gets, the more she says that.
Yes, I believe so. Thankfully,
just like we do when we're going. And the guy said, if only there was this device that you could look something up on.
I know. If there was only something like that. But we don't have anything like that. But, I didn't have Hillary praising Trump on my bingo card at all.
No, I ran across that and went, is this AI? This is real.
Is hell freezing over? Is Jesus coming back? I mean, what's going on here?
It wasn't real cold outside, but something was not right.
Something ain't right here at all. And finally, CNN's Abby Phillips. Now I like this lady. She tries to be fair. Most of the time she fails. But I mean, she
I was
seems like
going to
a nice
ask, you mean she tries? What do you mean by she tries?
She keeps Scott Jennings on there. So, I mean, on her little panel, she has him on all the time, whether it's, to kind of keep her straight
Yes,
or
but
whatever. But
she's as bad as I am. She interrupts everybody, just like I interrupt you all the time.
well, I got to let you get a word in edgewise. Otherwise, I would just kind of I'd be diarrhea of the mouth the whole time.
And I'd be sitting here going, is he still talking? Is he on?
Yes, because I keep you on the edge of your seat, and sometimes that's very comfortable. So anyway, Abby Phillips actually had a bit of criticism for Obama's semi-positive response to the peace deal in Israel. Now, this is from October 9th, I think it is. Actually, the Hillary thing, I said that was yesterday. That was actually Sunday. But this is from the 9th. So this is what she had to say.
President Obama put out this post talking about the peace deal and the prospects of it. And Don Jr. responded to it. I'll finish it for you. Thank you, Donald Trump. Honestly, it's not unfair to say if President Obama's going to write a whole post about a peace deal, maybe he should acknowledge the president that brokered it.
Give him some credit. I mean, Obama just hates him, though. You can just tell Obama just can't stand him.
Oh,
I think it's because I think part of it was I think when Obama was president, I know you remember this, Obama said, well, there's nothing you can do. What's he going to do? Pull out some kind of magic hat and pull jobs out of it and bring manufacturing back? He can't do that. That's ridiculous. It's just, this is our new normal. And
that's when he was stumping for his third term, though.
Yeah,
wait, that didn't happen, did it?
He got it anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. And his sweats in his basement, no less.
That's right. A little earpiece. Yeah, he got it. And while I think Chris Cuomo, which, gosh, I want to give him credit, and just like Bill Maher, and we'll have something from Bill Maher later, he's waking up a bit. He's still got a lot of big left-wing stripe through his middle of his back. It's yellow, I think.
Yeah. The wife and I were just talking about him, how, we thought, well, maybe he's moving to the right a little bit, and then he jumped way back over the line again. It's like, okay, never mind. Had us fooled for a moment. We weren't sure. Yeah, no, that's him again.
He's got to be in his early 50s. And I think if you've thought a certain way for 50 years, it's probably hard to kind of get rid of that ideology completely, all in one time. I don't know. But he was talking to Eric Trump the other day, and he was talking about this weaponizing of the DOJ that the left likes to say is happening under Trump. And,
boy, did he take and
Don Jr. and Eric Trump. I mean, you gotta give the president and their mother a lot of credit, because these two are some smart people. They can be crass, but they're very smart. This is how that conversation went, though.
I'm not playing coy. I know what happened to me,
Chris,
Eric. I'm saying that what is happening now looks like what was done to you. That's why I'm asking the question.
Did we raid Biden's home? Did we try and bankrupt Biden? Did they come after us? Did we weaponize every AG and DA, against Biden? Did we do that against Hunter Biden, who had a laptop from hell, pictures of cocaine, illicit drug use, prostitution? Did we do that? Did we make up a dirty dossier about Biden? Did they try and destroy Biden's marriage? Was any of that true? I mean, did we make up stories that Biden had secret servers in the basement of his home communicating with the Kremlin in Russia? Did we strip Biden off the ballot of multiple states? Did we take Biden off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and try and silence his voice so he couldn't communicate? Did we put Biden in a courtroom every single day? 91 felony counts that have all been overturned for my father now, right? For nonsense, to try and keep him off of a campaign trail and to try and destroy his life. Did we do any of that?
No, I think the answer is no. Cuomo got quiet.
To Cuomo's give him a little due, he didn't do what Stephanopoulos did on ABC the other day when J.D. Vance was on talking, and we're going to go to break now, that's enough. And he just shut him off.
He is such a shill for the Democrat Party, but he doesn't like to be called a shill for the Democratic Party.
No.
But that's exactly what he is.
But that's what he is. Yeah, he doesn't like it. But I will give Cuomo, just like when those calls were coming in, he goes, how so? And they had reasons, unlike, oh, we're voting Democrat. Why? Well, we've always voted Democrat. They don't have any reasons right now. There's none.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not a good answer.
If somebody asked you and I why we vote Republican, I've got a list in my head that I don't even have to think about.
Yep.
And mostly it's because we're not the Democrats. We're not for all this list of stuff that, the open borders and the giving drugs to kids who are confused. And I mean, it's like all that stuff. I mean, those are common sense things. And I think anybody that's got a couple of brain cells to rub together ought to be able to figure that out.
Yeah. It just, yeah, they use talking points that are hearsay from somebody who made it up somewhere, that passed it on to somebody else, that passed it on. Oh, they're arresting kids and stuff, and they're throwing them out on the street, and it's like, that's not happened anywhere.
No.
I mean, if you got proof of it, okay, I'll say, you know what, that's not what should be taking place. But by the same token, yeah, we had an invasion for 4 years, literally. When 10 million people come into your country, that's an invasion.
Absolutely. I think it was probably closer to 20. I think the conservative estimates were between 10 and 14, but I think it's probably more than that. And think about how many
they
of those
don't know how many because they weren't keeping track of it.
No. And you can't vet these people. They come from third world countries. It's not like they have this printed out birth certificate and some kind of equivalent of a social security number. You can't look up. I mean, there's no fingerprints. There's no nothing. I mean, you don't know who these people are.
Yeah. And then flying them in over top of the border and dropping them off as a president. That's no, that's
shady,
not right either.
Shady gets. But you were talking, and we were talking off the air, and what you were talking about specifically was you got into a little bit of an argument online with somebody that an acquaintance of ours that comes from the left side, and that was what she was saying. Is that, well, they're arresting kids in the street, and it's like, show me the video. I have not seen one child arrested, and if that was truly happening, that would be plastered everywhere.
Yeah, you're welcome to say that, but I want to see where's the proof. You're just taking that as the gospel, and it's not happening that way, but you're pushing that narrative. So what do they do in Portland? You saw that this last weekend. They were protesting ICE being there by, what else do Portlanders do but get naked in the rain? I don't understand this, but yay, it's a reason to go protest because I get to be free. Woo!
It was an emergency protest against Trump. Who does emergency protests?
I don't know.
And why would you want to get on a bike naked? I don't get that one. That seems...
Wow, I didn't realize that lump in the seat was that sharp.
It's a good way to lose your virginity, it seems like to me.
Among other things.
Yeah, that too. Good. Yeah. It just doesn't sound like a good use of an afternoon to me.
No, you don't want certain things caught in the chain.
Wow, I didn't need that at all.
That gave you a visual, didn't it?
I'll be right back. I got to squirt some bleach in my eyes. Hang on a second.
It just came up. I just had to think about it.
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, I got nothing now. Yeah, thanks for tuning in to Stay Off My Lawn. Oh my gosh, but yeah, Cuomo's kind of come around a little bit, and but still that comes out, and Eric Trump put him in his place, and like you said, Stephanopoulos and Don Lemon, which some people like to call him.
That lemon boy?
Lemangelo. But if that video was out there, he would have an iPad wrapped around his neck with that video just playing on a loop. Because if they arrest, now they have arrested people, and I have seen them throw women on the ground, but that's only when they are resisting arrest. If you resist arrest, I don't care if it's for a traffic ticket and you don't want to get out of your car, they're going to put you on the ground and they're going to put cuffs on you. That's the way it works. That would happen to me. What do you got?
There was one of these bozos, and I believe it was Portland. They were just like this far from his face, screaming at him, "What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?" And after he finally touched him, he went,
"Pepper spray,
Sergeant Pepper."
Sergeant Pepper. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that was hilarious.
There you go.
He quit screaming at him because he was too busy going, ah, ah.
He was still screaming, but yeah, it wasn't for the same reason.
No. It's like, what
Oh,
part
my
of this?
God.
They are so used to getting away with that crap that now they're not. They're going, whoa, wait a minute.
I mean, the pepper spray.
I've not
worked.
been arrested before for doing this. Yeah, this ain't your daddy's services.
It's a totally different place now, so you need to buckle up, Charlie, because it's a different place. Speaking of them getting away with stuff, remember back in the summer of love in 2020, that was a transition that I didn't even prepare for. But there was, but I never do. So I
Wait a
mean,
minute, we don't
goes
prepare
without
for
saying.
anything. So other than we have an outline, and that's it. So, yeah, somebody goes, how long does it take to write all these scripts? What scripts?
We don't write anything. Actually, I write down notes so I don't forget names. But yeah, other than that, I
sometimes that doesn't work well either.
No, because I can't read my own writing, and it's on a Word document, so it doesn't really make any sense. But back in 2020, there was $2 billion worth of damage done to federal buildings and private property and everything just in that summer across, I don't know, however many. It was Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, all the left wing, cities, the really extreme left wing cities. 2,000 officers were injured, and 15 people were killed during that summer. Of course, that was all while the media praised Antifa because they had mostly peaceful protests. I love the one where the guy was standing there and there was a car burning in the background. Well,
and a building to boot with flames coming out of the windows. It's a mostly peaceful protest. As you can see behind me, there's no news here. It's like, what? Turn around and look and report on that.
I guess if you're going to do it math-wise, there were 7 buildings that weren't on fire, and there was only 1 that was. So it's mostly peaceful. That may be what they're talking about. But anyway, here we go again with left-wing copy and pasted email probably to these left-wing media people about Antifa. Here we go again. We're going to start off with Jimmy Kimmel this time.
There's no Antifa. This is an entirely imaginary organization. There is not an Antifa.
Like, I don't even know what Antifa is. There is no group.
It's not even like far-right groups like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Compared to right-wing extremists, Antifa-linked violence is rare and limited.
It isn't an organization. It is in many ways mythology.
It's not like the Proud Boys or the Oath Keepers, sort of defined terrorist organizations with leadership that leads violence.
It's not a highly organized movement. It's a moniker. It's not a unified group like the Proud Boys are.
Things like Antifa are things that are thought up.
It's all in this guise of going after Antifa, which is nothing. There's no organization called Antifa.
Nobody's a member of Antifa because it doesn't exist. They are just declaring into existence something that doesn't exist.
There is no Antifa organization, so maybe that's good for social media. But it really is non-existent.
They exist on the internet in chat rooms and in 4chan and Discord and places like that where they run discussion boards, trade tactics, documents, things like that. But none of them are called Antifa.
I don't know what 4chan is. I don't know what he's talking about there, but I mean, maybe Blue Sky? I don't know. But no idea.
They don't exist. Okay, here's a little tidbit for you. Have you ever noticed any time that there's going to be a scheduled protest or there always seems to be a pallet of bricks that gets dropped off in a nearby parking lot. They're just there, Oh, you need some bricks? Why, here's some right here. They're free.
And it's like
they're going to be spraying gas. Here, we'll be back with some gas masks. Here you go, to the tune of about 200 and something a pop to get the gas mask. And where did those come from? Yeah. Not organized. And they're being laughed at. Everybody who's used this is just being absolutely laughed at because it's a joke.
It seems like Jimmy Kimmel didn't learn his lesson at all. He's still out there spouting about politics. I mean, but yeah, I mean, in 2020, I think they would call it the Antifa group. I mean, this was things that they talked about. They had admittedly called it an organized type of group. So I don't know where this is coming from. All of a sudden, the Democratic leadership has copy and pasted this email out to people and said, we need to stick to this script here and keep telling people it's all made up. Nothing's real. My last name is Smith. All the letters are silent. And
yeah, and we were talking off air about when poor Charlie Kirk was assassinated. There were prayer vigils. We're not the same.
No.
You have a criminal that had a rap sheet as long as both arms, and some of the heinous things that he'd done, and we're going to burn down cities because he was killed. No, he died because of the drugs he took. Jeez.
Sure. And then the guy that, but like you said, when the crime happens from that side, like the guy up in Charlotte that killed that Ukrainian woman, when that happened, there were no police cars being tipped over, and that was truly racial. He was heard saying on video when he was walking down the aisle after he stabbed her that I got another white one. It's like, so I mean, that was clearly racial. Okay. And
then they were saying, well, we don't think it was racially motivated. Really? What part of the clip did you not see? The rest of us saw it.
They probably did that before. They probably said that before they even saw the clip, or they just omitted that part. It's like
convenient editing. Well, it was too long, so we had to trim.
If you don't believe the mainstream media has a left-wing agenda, then you need to set the alarm clock and wake up, because that is.
And they are finally losing so many numbers that I don't know how much some of these smaller stations are going to be around, because there's nobody funding them anymore.
Oh, I know.
So where's it going to come from? What are you going to do?
Lost some of their funding, and I don't think that they're going to be long for this world either. But yeah, the viewership has gone down. Even J.D. Vance, that when we were talking earlier, when J.D. Vance and George Stephanopoulos, he told him, he said, "Look, nobody's listening to your show anymore. Your viewership has gone down."
Yeah,
and it's like
he didn't like that at all.
Yeah,
Stephanopoulos does not like it.
I think
he's probably about my height.
Probably made him break wind. I mean, it was probably he just seems like a farter, doesn't he? He just looks that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are up against another break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about Jay Jones. We talked about him last week. He is running for Attorney General in Virginia, and there's a little bit of feedback or backlash from that, but not in the way you might think. So hang in there. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. More of the Stay Off My Lawn podcast is coming up.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I would imagine that's true, even if it's your least favorite child. You shouldn't do that.
Or a dog. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Don't leave them in there. If you've never been in a vehicle when it's 140 degrees, you can't hardly breathe in the air. Being in a route truck in the summer when it's 110, I had to open up the back doors just to try and get a stop ready. And I can't imagine what it's like stuck in a little car seat. How do you forget a kid in the car? The wife goes, we have never forgotten a child in the car. Ever.
We got a newer car. Barbara drives a 2024 RAV4, and when we turn off the ignition, a little thing comes up. Check the back seat. And normally we've got the girls' car seats back there, so it's sort of like I always look at Barbara, or if she's driving, she looks at me, she goes, "What in the world could be back there that's worth anything? I have no idea." And of course, it just makes them giggle. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you forget.
I don't either.
And too often, though.
I mean, you get warm weather there. We get hot here, and I don't care, dry heat or otherwise. coming through windows, 140 degrees in a car. It is just boiling. Go sit in there sometime for 30 minutes and let me know how you do.
My parents lived in Arizona before I was born, and they used to tell me they lived in Tucson. My dad was a military contractor, and so when they said that the people would, like from out of town or from another state, would roll up the windows and lock the car doors, and it would get to 116 or whatever, and the windows would blow out, because they were cars back then were pretty tight. I mean, they were well made, and they would just have windows just busting all over the place. It's kind of weird.
I hadn't heard that one, but I do know the high temperatures. I've been in a hay stacker that didn't have air conditioning the first year, swamp cooler, and you got glass all the way around you, and you're just driving across cut alfalfa. And if you've never been out in an alfalfa field right after it's been cut with a lot of sun, it's like being in a cement parking lot because it's dry, it's hard, and it just reflects the heat right back up. It is miserable to be on.
Yeah. It's summertime is bad anywhere. Like I said, we have the humidity here that's different than yours, but but yeah,
I know from this last summer.
I just sit in the truck sometimes when Barbara's getting her nails done. I'll just sit there and wait. And man, I got to have all the windows down. And because I'm not going to sit there and run the vehicle, but I mean, with all the windows down, you still break a sweat. I mean, it's warm. So, but anyway, last week we were talking about Jay Jones. He's running for the Attorney General spot in Virginia. And, he had those nasty things that he said about the Speaker of Virginia and his family and his kids.
Disgusting.
And it's terrible things that, and Richard and I talked about this last week, things that it wouldn't even come to mind, let alone type it out or say it out loud. It would just, like I said, it doesn't even come to mind. And we're still terrible people. We're all sinful people. But I mean, holy cow. I mean, how evil can you be to say these kind of things? But here's radio talk show host John Fredericks with some surprising poll numbers relating to that. And you're going to be surprised.
So I just got a poll, just came out last night, got it when I got up today. This is really going to not sit well with you. And a poll was sanctioned by the John Reed for Lieutenant Governor campaign, so I got the insight on it. It hasn't been released yet. But here's the one number that is going to make you sick to your stomach. Here's the one number. When Democrats in Virginia were asked, did the text that Jay Jones sent to a colleague calling for the assassination of, at that time, Republican Speaker Todd Gilbert, his wife, his kids, hoping his kids would die in her arms so she could suffer, calling for police to die so he could get policy on qualified immunity. When asked the question, are these texts disqualifying for your candidate for Attorney General, 7% of Virginia Democrats said yes. 93 said no. So basically, if you're a Virginia Democrat, you have no problem with your candidate for Attorney General threatening assassination of Speaker of the House, his wife, his kids, want to see the kids die in her arms. We have to see cops die in Virginia. Only 7% reject that. Let that sink in.
It's insane.
That's some seriously sick people that anything, and if as long as it's Democrat, I'll vote for it. I don't care. Well, what's worse than that was when he said, and then I'll go to their funerals just so I can whiz on their grave. Really? What kind of a sick, twisted a-hole is this?
That's the thing. It's like, I'd like to know what that speaker did. I mean, I'm not familiar with Virginia politics enough, but what did that speaker do to him? I mean, show me on this doll where the speaker hurt you. I mean, what is wrong with you?
It's where the big R is.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. You couldn't be more right on that. I didn't have time for this clip, but did you see, speaking of Virginia politics, did you see the Winsome Sears and Abby?
Yes.
I can't think of her last name either. If we only had a computer. But anyway, the Democrat that's running for governor in Virginia. I know Winsome Sears because she is a superstar. But
very intelligent lady.
Oh, she's fantastic. But the debate went seriously cattywampus. I mean, for lack of a better term, it was
cattywampus.
terrible.
It went just wonkers.
She even Winsome Sears tried to get her to denounce this guy, this John. I don't even like saying his name, but it's like, and she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't even answer her.
Nope.
And then the moderator asked her, "It's like, do you still support him after all this?" And she would just dance around the question. I just don't understand being so beholden to a political party. Like I said, if Trump said something like that, I'd be the first one to call him out. No, he should not have said that. I don't care who it is. And like I said, I don't carry pom-poms for any political candidate. I really don't.
Go team, go, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, I've never bought the T-shirt. I just don't. I don't understand. Because again, we try to call balls and strikes here, and I just don't understand that.
It's just not right. Although Abigail Spanberger, or as some call her, Spamberger, is running for governor, and she has said some very, very hateful things as well. She's right in the camp with him.
Well, that's why.
She is disgusting, in my opinion. It's like, this is who you want to be in charge of your government for Virginia? You're going to get what you voted for.
Yeah. Well,
corruption and everything else.
But apparently Virginia is one of those states to where it's like they're not going to get swayed. As long as you got a D by your name, they don't care. They don't care.
My daddy always voted for Democrats, and his daddy before him, and by gum, I'm going to vote Democrat too. Who's running? I don't care. They got a D beside their name, and I check it.
I've got I think I may have mentioned this before on the podcast some months ago, but I've got my dad's old driver's license. And back in the 70s, you got, you would have your political designation on there. And I guess because when you went to vote, it showed on there. But he was a Democrat. But back in the 70s, a Democrat is completely different than a Democrat today. And hopefully, if he was still around today, then he would be like going, yeah, I don't think so, because my dad had common sense. My mom was a little bit more, I hate all Republicans type thing. And how I turned out how I did, I have no idea, considering they both were Democrats. But
you made a wrong turn down the R lane.
I believe I did. I believe I did. But my son and daughter-in-law are pretty much common sense. They probably fall in the line of libertarian, probably more than Republicans. But as time goes on, the libertarians are getting kind of weird too. I saw a post the other day, and I don't have all the details on that, but I thought, well, that doesn't seem libertarian to me. But
no. And I'm not seeing too much of that. There's Democrats that decided I want to be a libertarian because I can't stand the thought of having an R beside my name. Just gives them the heebie-jeebies, as my wife would say. It gives them the heebie-jeebies. And so, I'm going to be I don't want to be just an independent. I'll be a libertarian.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not.
But if you go to the polls and you vote libertarian, and you were a Democrat, you're giving the vote to the Republicans. So keep doing what you're doing. I think that's wonderful. Vote third party. Have a nice day. But anyway, if you're in Virginia and you're one of the 93, write us an email. I've been meaning to say this again. SOML@duck.com. Explain to us why. I'm curious. I don't understand what that is. SOML@duck.com. You can call us at 706-323-9003 or send us a text on that phone number, 706-383-9003. We'd love to hear from you. And even if we don't agree with you, if we can be, Richard just said that we were talking off the air that he had an exchange with somebody from New York City. Is that where he's from? New York City? And it was couldn't disagree more. But y'all had a good exchange.
Yeah, nobody got nasty. It's, this is what is, and that's what is, and okay, I see your view. I understand. This is mine. That's yours, and we're okay. Absolutely. And we just move on.
And that's how adults used to be. Thankfully, there's still some out there. So. And
I went back and went, you know what? That was a wonderful exchange. It was just kind of the way it was. It's my opinion, yours. Nobody got nasty. It wasn't a push, and just went, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, that was nice.
My first voice coach, we talked about politics at the end. I mean, we extended our session a little bit. We talked politics, and this is back in the early 2010s, and so I mean we agreed to disagree. We were fine. I still like the guy, and he still likes me as far as I know. I mean everything was fine, but I think that seems to be more rare than it used to be. But anyway, another one who seems to have at least partially woke up from his commitment to the left at any cost is Bill Maher.
I love some of his stuff. He's chewing on his own party because he stopped being so stupid. It just kills me. I love it.
I think Jimmy Kimmel could take a good tone from this guy because, you know what, I used to like Jimmy Kimmel, and it's like when he went totally political, I've totally written him off, and it wasn't like Bruce Springsteen. I didn't like him from the get-go, and now he's all political. I mean, now it's like, well, I've got a better reason to dislike you. But yeah, I mean, we play a lot of Bill's clips because he's taken a common sense approach towards a lot of these issues, and the Democrats are on the wrong side of it as far as he's concerned. They're surprisingly commonsensical, and here he is teeing off on Kamala's new book. I think this is just from last week.
Kamala Harris's new memoir of the 24 election is called 107 Days, but it should have been called Everyone Sucks But Me. 107 Days is a victim's title because, get it, she only had 107 days to win. Yeah, and $1.5 billion and a built-in army of about 75 million people who'd vote for any human-adjacent life form that wasn't Trump. But in 107 days, nothing is ever Kamala's fault. Biden lets her down by not stepping down sooner. Pouty face emoji. Gavin Newsom, he was asked for his endorsement, but texted, "Hiking, we'll call back." But then never did. And then he didn't even ask her to prom. America itself lets Kamala down by not being ready for the running mate she really wanted, Pete Buttigieg. So she's stuck with the Home Depot paint salesman. And the rest is herstory. Poor Kamala. We made her the star of a rom-com and didn't even give her a gay best friend. Kamala writes that on election night, when it was clear she lost, an aide peeled the words "Madam President" off the cupcakes before handing them out. Oh, geez, that's like a scene from Bridget Jones Runs for President, for sake.
You know, Van Jones was on that panel when he went off on that. Van Jones is over there, and he's normally pretty beholden to the left, and he's kind of like shaking his head. Yep. So, I mean, we don't have video, but...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's we're figuring out how to get that set up. Hey, we're actually having video of just us doing the podcast. That's a huge step for us. Let us figure this out one step at a time.
It may be there is a way to share, but I could I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I don't care enough.
I've done some of it before. We're going to have to, when we get together, we spend too much time talking about how things are going and all of our maladies and stuff that we've got. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I guess we should start the podcast an hour and a half later. I just went out before we started today, and the wife goes, "Are you done?" I went, "Are you kidding? We barely did the promo." She goes, "But you've been in there an hour and a half." Uh-huh. And your problem is?
We were visiting.
No, we were talking about the news of the day.
News of the day.
The way it is. This Tuesday, September. Nope, we're in October. Yeah.
That's a very good Walter Cronkite. If you got to be this tall or this old. I was listening to the news, and it was for Senator Norval Hedges, and I went, "That's a voice that goes with Senator Norval." So it was, this Monday, September. And the thing was with Walter Cronkite, supposedly he was a lefty, but man, he never let on. Never let on.
But not very often, once in a while, but he was not overt about it.
No,
So.
exactly. Sometimes it sneaks through, just like it sneaks through with us being Republican. I mean, hey.
What? We let it show?
Maybe 105 minutes out of every 60-minute show. Other than that, not very often.
It's only once a week.
That's all. Yeah, we've got so much on our plates right now. We've got some physical maladies we're dealing with, and we'll explain all that eventually because we're probably going to have to take some time off as time goes on.
If it ain't one, it's the other one.
That's right. And it might be both of us at the same time. We might have Charmaine and some other guest take over for us while we're gone. She has been great about that in the past. So,
yep.
But we do have a palate cleanser. Again, you got to be this old in order to figure out who this guy is we're talking about. But this is about a football legend and announcer of sorts. I think you'll if you're 45 or older, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, you probably heard of him.
Maybe 50. Maybe 50 would be more safe. But anyway, this is a great rest of the story from Paul Harvey.
The rest of the story. It was the 10th day of May, beautiful spring day in Lake City, Florida, but for the very pregnant woman in Lakeshore Hospital, it was a less than happy day. Her pain had begun months before. Her husband, janitor at a local bank, had divorced her with their baby on the way. The mother-to-be, very much alone, was some comforted by her gentle Dr. Harry Bates. Slight, bespectacled, balding, meticulous Dr. Bates had been so reassuring during her troubled pregnancy. Dr. Bates was not a specialist. He was what in 1930 we called a family doctor, a plain small-town doctor. The delivery was on schedule and apparently without complications, and soon a fine big baby boy was announcing himself to the world. Through the hasty postpartum care, the exhausted and distracted mother didn't notice that Dr. Bates was frowning. How was he going to be able to tell this mother, who had been through so much recent heartache, that her otherwise perfect new son had been born with one foot backward? The right foot of the otherwise healthy baby was reversed, the heel forward, the toes facing backward. And when the perceptive mother sensed the doctor's discomfiture, he had to tell her. "My baby has a deformed foot." She burst into tears. Dr. Bates sought as best he could to reassure her there was a surgical procedure called an osteotomy to correct such malformation. What he knew but could not bring himself to say was that it required highly specialized orthopedic surgery, and even if this impoverished mother could afford such an operation, there was no such specialist in or near the tiny town of 6,000 people. Now, whatever treatment the boy would receive would be the awesome responsibility of a family doctor of very limited orthopedic experience. But he did it. In 2 short weeks, the gallant, determined family physician educated himself with all that was known in 1930 about infant osteotomy. The tiny pencil-sized fibula must be circle-cut, then the tinier tibia bone must be similarly severed and turned, twisted, rotated until the foot pointed forward at a normal 15 degrees to the outside. Ever so carefully in this almost microscopic surgery, the blood supply must not be disturbed while the elastic flesh is brought back into place and the purposely broken leg placed in a splint. But he did it. Dr. Harry Bates performed the operation perfectly. The boy child would be able to stand unaided. Probably he would never run, but in time he would walk. And the grateful mother in that shabby soiled White House on Madison Street made up with love for whatever the doctor may have lacked in finesse. The boy's foot grew normally, his leg grew stronger because the little fellow would stand in the yard kicking a football onto the roof of the house and catching it as it came down. Within a block and a half was the practice football field of Columbia High. It wasn't long before the young lad watching football practice would chase balls that came over the fence and retrieve the stray balls and kick them back over the fence. And one day the boy was a student at that school, and there was a note on the bulletin board said anybody who'd like to kick come out early. And when the boy showed up early, imagine the surprise of the local doctor, who by then had become the team physician, Dr. Harry Bates. In the years since, Dr. Bates courageously and artfully reversed a baby's wrong way forward right foot. That talented foot has kicked a succession of winning goals for the University of Arkansas, and then for 10 years in professional football with the Cardinals and the Giants. He kicked 20 of 29 in 1959 to lead the league that year. And all the while he was earning his way into football's record books, he also established himself as a scholar with a master's degree in history, a teacher of history between seasons. Today there may be no face and no voice in all of television more recognizable all over America. For the malformed child of a modest but loving one-parent household in Lake City, Florida, grew up to become Pat Summerall.
Only now you know the rest of the story.
And of course, this is from probably the 80s. when Paul Harvey recorded this, and of course Pat Summerall has since passed. I was just looking it up because I wanted to make sure I had the facts right. In 2013, he passed at the age of 82, and I almost hesitate to say this for reasons that Richard will understand here in a second. But he went in for a broken hip surgery, and he passed.
Oh, gee, thanks.
He
That
passed
makes
3
me
days later
feel a
from
whole lot
cardiac
better.
arrest. So I'm sorry, but he was 82. You're a young man compared to that. So
Yeah. I'm a little ways behind that.
yeah. So anyway, but Pat Summerall, but the voice, and we were talking off the air because we had listened to this ahead of time. But him and John Madden with CBS, normally the 4 o'clock primetime football games. I mean, those two were they were like peanut butter and jelly.
They were the best. It was they just one knew what the other one was going to do, and Pat got used to John when he would go off on one of his little. He just let him go, let him talk. It's not hurting nothing. It's like I don't have to be the star. We're working together. It's a partner.
That's right. That's right. Well, I mean, that's kind of what you do when you're doing play-by-play and color commentary. Anyway, that was very old school, and they try to do that today, but. Tony Romo just doesn't have the same moxie that these guys did.
No, it's just not.
It's just not
I
the
think
same.
the Sunday night with Mike Tariq and
Mike Tirico
Collinsworth.
Yeah, Chris Collinsworth. Yes,
Yeah,
those two are
I
good.
think those two are very good together.
Yes,
I
they are.
enjoy listening to them. So
You can tell.
those are my favorite.
Sort of like Madden and Summerall, you can tell that they actually they get along. They like each other, and I think that that's missing on a lot of these partnerships. And they move people around so much anyway. I mean, even when Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, actually, you could tell there was some gel there too. I don't even know if they do that anymore. Are they still doing?
Oh yeah,
do they?
no, they are. They are.
But they're okay. They're not bad. And Joe Buck gets a lot of criticism, but I think he's okay.
I think he's fine.
Yeah.
They're just, to me, there's just a little something that's off. I don't know what it is.
It's not like the people when we were younger. I mean, like I said, Summerall and Madden, I think we were just so used to those two just being the epitome of what a football game or how it should be called. So
yeah. Well, I used to watch on Sunday mornings because there wasn't anything else on black and white footage because it was in the 60s. I was a young lad then. And it would be they would have the Notre Dame games on every Sunday, a recap. In an hour's time, you'd see the whole game. And you got Lindsey Nelson. He's on the 5, the 10, the 45-yard line. That's the way that he always spoke.
Yeah.
But it was, I still do that. The wife will tell you, somebody kicks off and the runner, he's got the ball. He's on the 5, the 10, the 15, out to the 35-yard line.
It's like there should be there's got to be a training camp somewhere to get people to talk like that. It's like,
I don't know.
You think about Joe Buck. Well, Joe Buck's got a great voice, and he does that very well, just like his father Jack. I mean, they had that. And in baseball, I mean, we were talking about this off the air too. In baseball, you had Harry Carey, and you had people, and then Skip Carey for the Atlanta Braves. Harry Carey, of course, wasn't that the Cubs?
Yes.
He was with the Cubs. So I mean, you've got these iconic voices that just had that style that it's missing a lot today. They try, but it's just missing. You just don't have those iconic characters anymore.
The personalities, or I got to say his name, and the file door slams shut.
I hate it
for the Dodgers. Did it for like 50 years for the Dodgers. Yes, Vince. Loved listening to him. He'd tell a story, and that strike too. And furthermore, it just was like, what?
He just never ran out of stuff to talk about.
And he would be telling you and still keep up with the game and go right. Still, that was a little interlude back into the story.
Absolutely.
He was very good at that. Anyway.
And enough with sports. And that was our sports commentary of the day. We hope you were somewhat informed and had fun like we did. Don't forget you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Smart Speaker. It's not Smart Speaker, it's Smart Speaker. Rumble, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Or if all that's too complicated and you can find a website, just go to our good old website at stayoffmylawn.us for all our past and present episodes.
And we'll see you next week, folks.
Toodles, and thanks so much for watching and listening. Tell a friend, we'd appreciate it. Have a wonderful week.